Alright, so the other day I was pretty inspired, so I want to record this video and it's going to be in English because it's going to be one of these videos that goes far into the future. Alright, so I think we can start getting to that. Hopefully the light is decent. So yeah, let's go. Boom. So we start with this whiteboard that we are going to slowly analyze. And we start with You Can't Do Anything, but You Can Do Everything by Ray Dalio. And then it's like UI, can't I? So there is a bit of a question in here about this because AI is going to bring things in a very interesting point. And speaking about AI, there we go with the AI, right? So let's unpack all this. So let's start with the black pen, which is this no curación colectiva. So there are some things in Spanish and English, collective healing. And just to put this in perspective, this was the original thing that was in the whiteboard, Plain Camp, the mission. And this wasn't written by me, but that's a very important thing that we are going to see how everything connects. So basically in this video I want to share all of my mind in a night of inspiration. And the black is related with my current season of no. So out of everything that you see here, everything will go away, but most of the black things will remain. So silhouette was one of the words that I was playing with Victor recently, a friend of mine, to came up with the stories. And silhouette in this case was like, can I spell it correctly? I don't even know if it's spelled correctly, but it's related with the season of no and this collective healing as one of the things that is a yes. So that's my purpose. And we have here the Plain Camp, the mission, but the collective healing is part of my life purpose. So every no is a yes and every yes is a no. Every time I say no to something, I'm saying yes to the purpose. And every time I'm saying yes to something that doesn't support the purpose, then I'm saying no to the purpose. So that's very important. And stacking evidence is like my ability to be consistent in the things that I'm going to be consistent. So then I have evidence that I'm able to do whatever I say I'm going to do, right? So that's how we arrive here. And that's color black for now, which is all about the season of no. And there is no more black, but we have something that came afterwards, which was the red, right? So the red came with the give love, which is like a mantra, right? And then this is a bit of going crazy with the language. Give love, love, VV, re, EE, re, ve, depends. So re is connected with something that Victor had in a recent psychedelic trip, which is connected with expression. And give love is like a mantra of how to live through life, right? So this is like a bit of a creative expression of this personal mantra of giving love. And the red color is associated with the Raining Rosas, which is the physical theater company, which at the moment is stop, but at some point it will move. And it's a bit like an eclipse, right? So an eclipse is something that is stop, and at some point it will move. Just because there is something black and multicolor here, this is Zambia, and it's connected with something very related with the no, the collective healing, which is building a village in Zambia that has some of all of these elements. And if you look at the video of Carlito Fluito, the vision board, you can understand better why do I mean by this, right? Because each and every of these colors is connected with one of the concepts that used to be on my past. And this no, and every no is a yes, is connected with building the village in Zambia. So once I can get and focus on the no and this part of my life, which is related with Plain Camp, then I will start building this building in Zambia. Having said this, we are going to move to the lovely purple, right? So the purple, we have the spirituality and psychology, which is this concept that I was developing for some time, is last year, and I did some podcasts, and it's all about mixing spirituality and psychology, which is two of my fields of expertise. And there I put here like Diadema, Spipsim, Life AI. So this is basically, we are going to take a tour around here, and we are going to see that I have here this object. It's called Flow Time, and it's basically a biosensing meditation headband. So the idea, very simply, was like, can I record these type of videos where I'm explaining all these concepts while using the headband, and then streaming live what is happening with my brain while I'm explaining these concepts, or while I'm doing different types of meditations. So that's like a very cool concept. So it's like having a heartbeat, but in this case like having the brain waves while I'm explaining the concepts. And I think that's super very nice. And here we have like a bunch of arrows and a bunch of words. It's a bit of a mess, so let's unpack this, which is all related with spirituality and psychology, and it's an example of what would I like to research and which type of ideas would I like to explore with the whole spirituality and psychology. So Victor, this friend, was telling the story of how he had like a very big insight in his life when there was the moon and there was like a moon eclipse, right? So he had this big insight, like he connected with his intuition, and somehow his higher self upgraded, and this is the identity, because through the insight he could realize that he could change the identity, and then he started changing many of the things he was doing, so therefore he was able to change his being, his nature. So why did I was painting all of this while he was telling the story? So there is some relation and some stories about how the moon affects the water bodies in the planet, right? So basically the tides of the sea are related with the moon. And then there is some relationships between the moon and the period of women, which are also water bodies, and are also water bodies that contain many types of salts and nutrients somehow, because it's the placenta that is being released, right? So somehow life on this planet started on the sea, which is this huge water body that is affected by the moon. So when an eclipse is happening, the earth, the moon and the sun are all aligned, and this might be like a very specific type of event that is having an impact on these water bodies and also on the women, and there is these relations with when the moon is full or not. So if that can affect the water bodies, meaning that intuition is being related with this pineal gland, the pineal gland. So if the water bodies in the pineal gland that are related with the intuition can be affected by the moon and by the eclipse of the moon, can that have an impact in the insights, in the type of insights that you're having, and thus associate those insights to your identity? And therefore, the good thing here is like, okay, I realize that I have to eat healthier, that I have to do more exercise, but then I'm going to integrate these insights into my identity so I can remember them and I can put them in my memory in a way that they are consolidated, right? So these insights now form part of my identity, therefore they are in the memory. So now they are more grounded, they are more into myself. And that becomes my nature, right? So how nature can become your guide if you surrender your own self to all these cosmological events. Maybe you can align yourself much more faster using what is already up there and out there, which is these natural events and circumstances. And I think this is extremely interesting, and also a very good point is like how all these ancient civilizations, they already kind of were, I mean, they were able to predict things like eclipses, right? Like in Mesoamerica, in South America, before Precolumbine ages. So I believe this is very interesting, and I would love to explore and write much more about all these ideas. And something that is a practice that you can apply is like a ride to the moon, like a ritual, like a ride to the moon, right? So this is about spirituality and psychology, which now is a project that is in standby, totally. And now we are going to move to this lovely blue, which is related with AI, right? So I believe like AI is like a wonderful tool, and we will see where things goes. But at the moment, we can use them for so many things. And one of the things that I realized is that, I mean, that's why it's next to the season of no, because I will implement AI. And I'm a bit obsessed with AI as well, so I'm going to try not to overuse it or not to overconsume the content about AI. But one of the things that I realized, like, there is this online course about how to text, which is a skill that I don't have. I don't know how to text. I mean, I don't know. It's like I don't consider my texting skills like really good. So there is this course, which is Ari is the name of the course, the creator of the course, And then it's about texting, like how to text better, how to communicate better through text. So can I implement AI to feed this course into a large language model, therefore creating a GPT that is like an expert in texting? And can I link this with my WhatsApp or with other apps? So then can I delegate texting to an AI by I just say to the AI what I want to communicate, and then the AI communicates with me. And this is a really good point. And it's connected with this, which we are going to explore now, right? So this is a mark for this. And finally, we have here in blue, my mind is a piece of work, a piece of art, a work of art. My mind is a work of art because when I see this, I'm like, wow, this is fucking amazing, but it's my mind, right? And this is my blue turban, meaning all the untold stories that are on my book. If you read my book, which happens that I have a copy right here. This is my book, 13 Letters Since 2013, Carlos Alcalá, Carlito Fluito. If you read this book, I haven't each chapter mentioning that there are many other stories that will be told on another occasion. And this is why, by using AI, I could get all these stories into an organized way to put them as a work of art, right? Because otherwise, boom, this is the mess. And I want to say that AI is so amazing that I was able to take a picture of this, feed it to the AI, to ChatGPT, and get the whole thing organized in different fields and in different columns, right? And now we are going to go to the orange. And the orange, I love it because here is like Crazy Genius below this, and this is like a planet, right? So I did like, this whole thing is like included in Crazy Genius, which was the name of the personal brand that I used to use after the PhD. I labeled myself as a non-PhD because I had been on the PhD, but I had chosen not to finish the PhD. And that's why I chose to say that I'm a crazy genius, because I have 50% crazy but 50% genius, and I believe everything is around it, right? So joy is really important because joy is like the power, the motor, the engine that is moving all of these things, right? Like, what is the most joyful thing? And here it says like, hay días que me encantaría ser millonario. There are days that I would love to be a millionaire. And this is because if I could be a millionaire today, I could do all of these things. I mean, I could be like, okay, let's get a team, let's create Raining Rosas, let's get a team, let's make a spiritual psychology, let's make a team, and let's create all of this, right? Trust because trust is love, and also it's like how much trust people can I get if I go with the brand of Crazy Genius. If I could be a millionaire, then I could get much more trust, as well as this spirituality and psychology, which can be considered as invasive, right? Because it's like, are people going to trust their minds into a project that is going to track with AI what is going on physiologically and even cosmologically? So then it needs a lot of love to reach this trust, and also to use joy as the engine. And it's here because it's part of this core. And that's basically on the orange. And now the most interesting, which is the green, which is related with Plain Camp. And it's like Tsunami Colectivo, collective tsunami, because it's related with collective healing. So Plain Camp, if you haven't been yet, we do activities on the nature, and it's fun, and it's inner child connection, so everybody is like happy, playing like a kid. And it's a 10 out of 10 experience, everyone is extremely happy of it. So can I do like collective healing? Because at the moment, in 2024, there is a strong movement on this healing culture and on spirituality that is very egotistic and is very selfish, and people focus too much on their personal healing, but there is not so much of collective healing, right? So that's something that in Plain Camp we are consciously modifying. And because, okay, the Crazy Genius also has a connection with one of the recent insights that I had on a psychedelic trip, which was like terraforming a planet, name it on the name of Crazy Genius or Carlito Fluito, something like that, and then facilitate the most populous festivities in the honor of life, right? So that's like a huge ambition, and it's because I'm getting very inspired by a podcast called How to Take Over the World at the moment. And you know what Julius Caesar did, what Alexander the Great did, it was like they were going to these new lands and they were conquering them and naming the things. That's why Alejandria is there. Naming the cities with their own names, and then organize and facilitate all these huge festivities. And I'm being very inspired by it, because it's like you have the explorer, you have the honor of building it, and the aspect of ruler, of putting order into something, and then you have the joy of celebrating what you did. So it's like a full circle somehow. And we could agree a lot about what is right, what is wrong, if one is being conquering and killing other people. There is many things to say there, obviously. But at least we can detect this element of ambition, which I'm doing some coaching and therapy at the moment, which can be related with hate. You know, like I want to take over the world, and from where am I doing it? Am I doing it from hate? So can I transform this hate? And then the hate is being filtered, or is being embedded into my communication. So what is the emotion that is on my communication? Then is anger, right? When I say I'm pissed with this, that's hate, communication, and then it becomes anger. So this anger, what's the energy of this anger? Is frustration. So how can we heal this frustration? And the frustration comes also from I'm not being recognized, right? This is my own healing process of I'm not being recognized. That's why I'm so ambitious, that I want to have everything, so then I can be recognized. So there is hate towards all these people that don't recognize me. So when I do my communication, I enter into contact with anger. And the energy is frustration, the energy that is below. So how can we translate that? With generosity. The more I give, then I enter into contact with love. Boom! Give love. You see? Such a beautiful way of moving ambition and using the best of ambition with this energy of hate, this angry communication, and this frustrated energy into love and generosity. Right? The more I give, the more I get. So then we can, the ambition, give love. It's such a nice thing. I'm a chaotic person, I'm chaotic, but I love myself. So full self-acceptance here. And then we have here craziness, feel, dermathitis, right? So if maybe this is related, and I like it to put it here. So here is the crazy genius, here is the craziness, and if those are related with feeling dermathitis. So this is a reminder of if you feel more, you might be able to heal your dermathitis by yourself. And finally, imagine that planet Earth gets your name, and then it's like the city of Alexander. So imagine that a planet, in this case is planet Earth, so that's too much, they put your name. Yeah, and that's how beautiful it is, because this is like my cosmovision, my planet, my collective mission, and it reminds me a lot to other mind maps of Walt Disney and other type of poly creators. And having said this, thank you very much for your attention. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like this type of format, there is much more for you about this. Send you love, guys.